Hello, hello. I forgot something, but I don't know what that was. Hmm. Oh, I need to make sure I'm not downloading anything. That's what it is. Okay. I don't think that what it is. That's what it is. Oh, I am. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's better. Uh, did I forget anything? I don't think I forgot anything. No, I think I'm good. Okay, so, um, we won't finish today, unfortunately. We ran into UPS problems, surprising no one. Actually, no. A lot of people were not expecting me to. So not surprising me though, because burner inserters are terrible. um, Hold on. I think my mic's too quiet. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Is it better? I don't think it's better. Hello? There we go. Okay. So, surprising no one, we ran into UPS, or surprising chat, we ran into UPS issues. I was not surprised. The reason we have UPS problems is that for an equivalent production of burner, using only burner stuff, you need roughly like, it depends on what kind of build you go with, um, but between 5 to 20 times more inserters to get the same amount of production, which is a lot, considering they make up pretty much entirely all of the performance requirement of this base is inserters, which I think that's true for most mega bases. But yeah, um, we have 56,000 inserters in our entire base. It was 65,000, and it still is kind of. They're being deleted right now. That's why we're running at 15 UPS below the max right now, which is bad. Uh, yeah, it's quite bad. So we can't really do much for a bit. I do have bots deconstructing roughly 10,000 burner drills right now. That's going to take about half an hour. Also, we're low on power because of that, because we have like 300 megawatts going into RoboPorts. Power will balance out once that is done, though, for the most part. But yeah, there's not a ton we can do at the moment. But what we can do is we can prep for all the other achievements. We just can't really use bots to do it. We'll just probably want to do a bunch of things by hand. Because, well, yeah, we don't really... Well, we need to get Solaris. We need to start building combat robots, which I don't actually know. Can you get the achievement with the base robots, or do you need the higher tier ones? Because I know they don't last very long. And if it's only one defender, can you throw out 100 before they die? I'm not actually sure. Throwing speed is 4 per second. So you can, but you just have to click really fast, I guess, for like 20 seconds, it looks like. Yeah, we don't actually need to automate them because we don't need that many, but I think we will, just because it's more fun. We also need to set up, what's the word? Tree burning. We need to set up flamethrowers and all that jazz. We do need to cut our base because we need it to still be launching rockets, but it needs to launch a fish because we haven't done that yet. Because we did mess up our first launch, unfortunately. Let's see, what else needs to get done? I don't think a ton else needs to be done, actually. So yeah, we need combat robots, we need flamethrowers, which none of that really needs to be automated, but I think we will. Because it's more fun that way to have some base automation, and we're gonna build it by hand because bots are busy for like the next 30 minutes deconstructing 10,000 burner inserters and chests. it's a it's a lot. It's a lot of things that we gave them to do, which is unfortunate, but we weren't expecting such harsh UPS problems, so we were not making the most UPS efficient bases. But now we know. For next time, I guess, if there is a next time, which I doubt there will be, but just in case, now we know. Um, Also, we know how much an outpost can produce now with burner drills, realistically, so that would help a lot. Because it turned out that most of the wasted inserters we had were for chests. Um, and we didn't really need that many chests because we ended up being able to get a lot more outposts than I expected. So we were losing roughly like probably 10%, 20% performance to chests, which is pretty much all the burner drills, all the burner inserters that are being destroyed right now. We also have way too many drills per outpost because we made the wrong amount of, what am I looking for? I think underground pipe, yeah. We did not make the correct, oh wait, where are under pipe? Hold up. Oh, they're being produced. They're being produced in the train mall, right? But yeah, we. What was I saying? What was I saying? We use the wrong ratio of copper to iron in our outposts. So every single outpost is like has half an extra copper lane, which is like 30 of them. So that's bad. That's a lot of wasted inserters, and like a lot of mostly idling drills and mostly idling inserters. So that isn't great. So that's another thing. I think UPS problems would still be a problem and very reachable with only burner drills and stuff. But oh, we are out. Hold up. Do we have another one? We do have another one. Does this not even work? I don't even think this one is functional. But I don't know why. Oh well. That's fine. It's not like we need this. Okay, that's all we needed from it. But yeah, we learned a lot. Now we know that it is actually very possible to UPS bottleneck yourself with burner drills in a reasonable time frame. Like, it's not actually that difficult. Because they're terrible. Because like I said, they use 5 to 20 times the inserters per equivalent production. Roughly. And that's when they're fully upgraded. So yeah, that's without them fully being upgraded, you use like 40 times the inserters, which is just atrocious. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, so now what we are looking for. We also need solar panels. Nah, those are overrated. We'll never go back to them. We'll never go back to the original miner and normal inserter again because we realize that these are just way too awesome. Definitely. I'm definitely not regretting this in any way. And this has purely been a fun and easy, relaxing experience with no problems at all. It went great. What am I looking for? I'm looking for like backed up solar panels right now. We might be able to steal enough for Solaris from this. Oh, that perfect. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I am having fun. It is very fun. Despite all of the flaws, it is still very fun. Okay, now can we delete this? No, we can't. Okay, why do we have so much junk? Well, this would help. And then I guess I could take it out like one at a time, huh? Let's see, where's the dump chest? We do not need like 3,000 assembling machines. I don't know why we have them. You're having fun too? I'm glad you're having fun too. I think it's a great challenge. I am a bit bummed that we're not able to make the base any larger. But I do have ideas. I think we could reduce the inserter requirement of outposts by like 10%, 10 to 20%. Not much more than that, but I think we could have saved about like 10 to 20% assembler inserters. There might have been some way to direct feed to decrease it even more. But that's hard to say because then you don't have anything running fully. And if things aren't running fully, it's hard to say if you're saving inserters. Like, that's a really hard estimation to make. Because like if you have 2 assembling machines running half time, but each assembling machine uses half the inserters, like where's the balance there? Like, I don't know how exactly they would compare because that would be so specific to like one build. Why do I have so many batteries coming towards me? Oh, because I just wanted them like one time. That makes sense. Okay, steel. Actually, we do need steel. Okay, this is the only thing we really need from this. In-game time, a little under 3.5 hours, I think. Real time, about 4 hours, except bots will clear up all of the... I did some tests. We will get to 60 UPS once the bots finish deleting all the inserters, I think. I think, unless they're... No, they're still... Yeah, I think once all of the bots are done with their jobs, we still have like 5,000 bots out there. Isn't that as simple as long as you are inserter limited, you cannot save inserters? No, it's not that simple. Because you gotta consider like productivity modules and like input and output, and if it's self-feeding or not, things like that. Whether or not it's self-feeding is pretty important, but that also depends on your exact build, if you can have them be self-feeding. Are idle inserters still UPS hungry? I think so. And like half running inserters aren't great either. But yeah, the thing is, it's really hard to be... It's really hard to balance being inserter limited and not being inserter limited. Because a lot of the inserters, a lot of the UPS for the inserters comes from the mining, not necessarily the assembling lanes. So you can't really reduce the amount used in the mining lanes, but you could reduce them in the furnace lanes by having them directly go into an assembling machine. But if they go directly into an assembling machine, you're not going to be inserter limited anymore, you're going to be furnace limited. And I don't know if the savings from that would be worth it. Because then you would have a bunch of extra inserters, but maybe you'd have less inserters. I don't know, I kind of want to try to design an outpost like that to see what it looks like. But yeah, having to put inserters on the output definitely is trippy. They have much less effect than active inserters, I think, but you gotta keep in mind, we have 60,000 inserters right now, and over half of them are idling, like, very frequently. So, like, any decrease in inserters down from 60,000, I think is good, because that's a lot. See, why do we have so many radars? Oh, because we just deleted it. What do you mean? Do you implies... Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean do you implies then we are not supposed to play like that? That is not a standard way of moving things around. Oh, the burner inserter? Nah, yeah, this is the intended way to build. That's why it's so UPS friendly. Is there anything else I can do? Well, today I can try to decrease my UPS consumption a little bit. And I can get prepped for the achievements, because there's a lot of achievements I still have to do. But there's not much I can really do to fix the old outposts, which is kind of a problem. Because, like, bots also use a lot of UPS, right? Like, if I fix or make a new outpost, that will pretty much drop our UPS to sub 60 until after the outpost is built. So I don't even know if I can get more outposts reasonably. I think I can try to get a little bit more. But... Did I not cut as many inserters as I thought? It should be at 60. Oh, wait, I didn't test it while streaming. Yeah, so... I mean, if I stay zoomed in, 55 isn't that bad. And there are more things I can cut in the outpost to get another few UPS. So bots are actually done. Let's take care of that now. So I had one idea, and that was to take copper from like the end of the lanes, but I think for now what I'll do is I'll cut some of them. Because we have way too much copper here, so we can actually cut 96 inserters from every single outpost, because it's overproduced by a factor of like 30%. But I'm obviously not gonna just stop streaming to get like a better time, because we're not doing this in real time anyway. Like, I want to optimize my UPS because I can, but like, this isn't a real time run, so it doesn't really matter. I would rather do something for like a few hours and have like a slower total time. But I do want to try to get a little bit better UPS while I'm here. But yeah, I'm not gonna like just stop streaming to make the total time 20 minutes less or something. It wouldn't be worth it. But this helps a lot. Okay, so this is one set. Then we already got these. And there's these as well. But yeah, we have a lot of wasted entities, which definitely does not contribute it. Which definitely contributes it. Because idle things, mostly idle things, might affect the UPS less, but when you have like 20,000 idling machines, it's not great. Well, actually, these ones can't be cut. Yeah, I mean, I expect that to be UPS heavy, but there's literally nothing I can do about that one, so that doesn't matter at all. Like I said, it doesn't really matter if my UPS dips. I don't want it to be below 50, but other than that, I don't care that much. Because it's not like burning trees won't be like a permanent effect, right? What is this? Oh, those are important ones. I was wondering why it wasn't a 96 there. Okay, so that should help a decent amount. We do have some drills we can cut, but the problem with cutting drills is that they're full of a lot of coal. So if we cut drills, bots will be working overtime for like 20 minutes. I think it would still be worth it, because I am curious what kind of UPS I can get. But it's not... Yeah, there's not a ton I can do, really. It's we have too much built. We have too much already built to really do most of the like easy time saves. Wait, does this work? Ah, darn, that would have been cool. I was hoping maybe it would get I was hoping it would get gears on the correct side. That works. Okay. Okay, that looks good. And then let's just move them over here. If I have solid fuel, I might just hand feed this.
Tacos every day. Oh, tacos every day.
Okay. Where are they? Where are defender capsules here? I think that's everything. La-di-da. I need passive providers, and there we go. These work, right? I've never actually seen it. I'm assuming you can throw the defender capsules fast enough to get 100, or do you need to get to the destroyers, because they do 5 at a time? I guess as long as I click fast enough. It says 4 per second. So that should work. Hello, Niniarka. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the raid. How are you doing? We are currently... You just need to get the research done. Okay, so you don't need any of, like, the advanced... Wait, what do you mean? You don't actually... Do you not actually have to throw them? The research is done. Okay, we do have to throw them, though. Yeah, the research should be done. I hope, because I stopped rockets. We are trying to get all of the achievements in one run. Not in one day, but one file. Separate instance, the Factorio, so if I play elsewhere, it doesn't unlock any. But we're using only burner inserters. But unfortunately, we're producing 2.5 million green chips per hour. So we're still 4 hours away from launch, and there's very little we can do to speed it up real time, because our base is a bit not UPS optimized, because I wasn't expecting this to be a problem with anything I can make without blueprints, but I was... Actually, no, I wasn't I'm not super surprised, but maybe a little bit surprised, because I honestly didn't think we would be able to make this large of a base. Yeah, 2.5 million green chips per hour, and we started to run into UPS issues. We're trying to get it back down to 60, but we can't do much more than that. Because that would require like redesigning all of the outposts, and it's a bit too late for that. Because it would take like 2 hours to fix them, and by that point, I can't speed it up that much more. Because burner inserters are not great. The starting time for things tends to be in the half an hour to hour range. So like, I would spend 2 hours improving UPS, and then I would have like 1 hour left of an outpost running. Because it, would take 2 hours to start if I built it at that point. So that's where we're at. Currently, we are going to place a ton of solar panels and radars to get the Solaris achievement. And then I can do a brief base tour. But I need to set up fuel product. Wait, where do you make flamer fuel? Hold up, where do you make flamer fuel? It's is it a chemical plant? It's a chemical plant, isn't it? I think this is it. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Not like we really need this either, but yeah, we'll hand feed these, I think, because we only need enough to burn trees. And then an output. If only you could burn flamer fuel with a burner inserter, because that would be useful. That needs to be a red chest, and then we need oil, which that's why we have all this. Right. I remember what we're doing now. Yeah, we really don't need a ton. We just need a little bit of oil, which we can get pretty much from anywhere. Because there is oil practically everywhere. The advantage of playing with all of the resources turned up pretty high. Really high. Pretty much to the max. Okay. There we go. Connect this. Connect it across, and hope I didn't miss anything. And that should be good. I don't actually know how much we can produce. Oh, my roboport. My robots are off. There we go. Now they're on. Okay, let's see if that's actually reaching. Let's see, that's chests. We don't need those. Okay, perfect. Honestly, that's probably enough. Okay, so this was our starting base. So our starting base was designed. It launches a rocket like every 20 minutes, which is a bit unnecessary, I think. I think that's how much it produces. Hold on. Space science. No, a rocket every like, what is that? 30 per minute. 1,000 divided by 60. What is that? A rocket every, or is that a rocket every? No, a rocket every 2 hours. I thought we produced a lot more. It's hard to say because it doesn't run at a steady state. I don't actually know what the peak is, what the average is, because it's been pretty sporadic. I want to say it's probably somewhere in the range of a rocket an hour or every half hour. But yeah, it's probably around like a rocket every half an hour. But it uses this many lanes of resources, which is a lot. Most of them are being used actually pretty much all the time. Although I'd say a lot of them have they're not used fully, but that's because burner inserters are kind of bad. It's hard to use a full lane. It's hard to use an entire belt of a resource with burner inserters because you run into throughput problems pretty easily. Because they have trouble grabbing from red belts, so you have to like downgrade from a red belt to a yellow belt. So it's just it's a bit of a mess to try to balance your consumption perfectly. I think we did a decent job though, but obviously like pre-made blueprints would have been very helpful. We went in without blueprints or anything. We just had we had an idea, but that's about it. We didn't have anything super functional. Yeah, we have one of the things I'm really happy with is that we have this really long grid of coal on the side, and that makes this grid every 5 tiles where I can always get coal. So anywhere I expanded my base, I would always take from this grid. So that way, like when you're playing without blueprints, you always know where coal is, and you don't have anything self-feeding is the important thing. Because if you ever run into a coal issue, but like you're drills don't stop, but like your inserters do, everything will brown out and you have to hand feed anything. So one of the key aspects that kind of made this a lot easier was to not have anything in the starting base or the end bases really. Just nothing at all is really self-feeding into like the last couple hours. But that's why like these can technically feed themselves, but if they fed themselves and we had copper but we didn't have coal, they would die and I would have to fix it manually. It would have been a lot of work. So instead we have the grid, and compared to self-feeding, it's not that much more space inefficient. So for early base, it was a very good idea. It worked really well. If you want to use it in the end game, you have to be very particular about like coal prioritization, and it's really hard. But yeah, this was our starter base. It worked really well. We have, just in the starter base alone, that's roughly this area. We have about 10,000 inserters. So that is, and how many lanes is this? This is, well, a couple of them are steel, so I want to say this is like 15 red lanes of resources. That's only 10% of our production, or 15% of our production, because this achievement right here is the tough one. Getting 20 million green chips, which is a lot to do with just burner inserters. So what we're doing is we have outposts that each set here produces about 150 green chips per 150,000 green chips per hour, and it stores them in chests. So we have about 30 or 40 of these pasted, right? No, not that many. We have about 20 of these pasted. So these are about 70 to 80% of our production, I think. And our main base is like 15. Yeah, I tried to keep this one pretty organized because, like I was saying, with brownouts, when it comes to burner inserters, they're really, really hard to fix. So I had to make sure things were fairly organized so that way I could tell where the coal shortages was. Because sometimes like things don't consume coal that evenly. So I needed to make sure it like kept to some nice little grid so I could always fix it by adding coal on like one side wherever it seemed to be low, like really safely. So it worked pretty well. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Then we have a version of triangle mining, but I call it helicopter inserters, because what happens is the inserters pass coal between each other, between the drills, and allows you to make a lane that's about 20% more compact than taking coal directly from the belt. But the problem with that is it does make the inserters work a lot harder. It's also really hard to scale, but it's very compact, so I wanted to include it at some point. And I call it helicopter inserters because if they work really fast, they just kind of go like that one and they keep spinning and they'll keep going in circles. But that kind of falls out once you get stack size 2 and 3. But to start with, like, these just spin in circles and it's really fun. So that is a triangle mining helicopter drill set up effectively. And then we have, this is a more standard layout. It's a lot easier to do by hand and visualize how much you have. But it's only like 45% belt density compared to like 67% belt efficiency, belt density. And then we have this kind, which is 50%. So this one's pretty solid and very easy to expand. We were going to use this for all our outposts, but they... Actually, there was no reason not to use them. We should have definitely used them, but I really liked the helicopter inserter setup, so that's what we went with. Even though it was, like, objectively worse for this kind of situation, because I think it's more UPS heavy. It wastes more coal. It has a really large startup time, but it looks so fun that I couldn't pass it up. So we pasted... Oh, how much do we have? We have like 5,000 drills pasted with the helicopter drill setup. It's great. But yeah, that's basically it. The hardest thing to get was There Is No Spoon because we didn't have blueprints, and I've never played with Lazy Bastard before, so I wasn't used to not being able to craft. So we had to, we got that in 7 hours and 56 minutes, so we had 4 minutes to spare. which was very, very hectic. But we got it. If we had blueprints, it could be a pretty easy 6 hours. But without blueprints, yeah, it took about 8 hours, which is, you know, for an achievement that gives you 8 hours to unlock was very terrifying. Okay, I think we probably have enough resources buffered. It does look very awesome. I think it looks great. It doesn't run very well. Because for comparison, 100% is... Wait, we don't need the power grid. What am I doing? We're going for Solaris. For comparison, there is a 100% speed run that takes like 5 hours, and by the end of it, they're making, what, like 10 million green chips an hour for like half an hour towards the end? It gets that high, doesn't it? I'm not entirely sure. So they can get that many green chips without being UPS bottlenecked, or like barely being UPS bottlenecked, depending on your CPU. But like, burner inserters, on average, for every inserter you would use with electricity, you use like 5 to 40 times more burner inserters, depending on what kind of build you're doing. 5 to 40 times. And since those are where most of the UPS go, it's what most of the UPS goes to, that means you can make a base that's 5 to 40 times the size, roughly. Or 1/5 to like 1/40th the size for like comparable performance, I would say. Or probably something in that range. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We can't really do more. I was hoping to get to 4 million green chips per hour, but we just can't expand without... We just can't expand anymore. I mean, we could, but it would start to take longer to get the achievements. It would be faster in game time, but it would be slower in real life time. So yeah, that's currently where we're at. So trying to clean up some of the other achievements, like Solaris. We need to burn 10,000 trees. What else do you need to do? You need to... Yeah, we need Solaris. We need to burn trees. I think we need to run over trees. No, we got that one. We need to get hit by some trains a couple times, and then also make a train. That's long enough to get that achievement. But currently today is just achievement cleanup while we wait for 8 million more green chips, which actually, hold up, I haven't checked in a while. Is it closer than I thought? 10 million circuits. I don't know why I said 10 million. 47,000 times 60. Oh, we're producing 2.8 million per second. So we actually have like half an hour less than I thought. And if we can get the UPS fixed, because it's pretty close, it might not be impossible to get it done today. Do I have other power poles? Actually, this is enough, isn't it? We only need 67. Oh yeah, this is plenty. And I'm assuming, I don't know how many radars you need. Probably not a ton. Because I know it's 67 solar panels. I don't know how many radars you need to use that many. But I'm sure this will work. It's definitely going to be excessive, but it will definitely work. Oh, these don't auto-place to power things? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. This should work. It's its own separate grid. It's consuming 8 megawatts and producing 8 megawatts. Is that right? Is that enough? We have to produce 10 kilojoules and we have 3,600 seconds. This is 28 kilo. Okay, this is 28 gigajoules. So yeah, this is more than sufficient. Yeah, one of the achievements is solar panels. So we do have to make an exception and allow solar panels in our burner only run. But considering they don't really increase the complexity of the challenge, I figured that was okay. We can also use logistics spots, but I'm not using that many of them, except for like personal like inventory clearing, because building a mall using logistics spots would be super easy. Like it just seemed a bit too easy. Like you can make accumulators because they're very low throughput, high craft time things, so you could just put a blue chest and request coal, batteries, and iron, and it would work super well. So we don't have stuff like that because it just seemed a bit too easy. And it wouldn't have been as much of a mess, and I think that's the fun part. But yeah, that's one of the achievements down, hopefully. At least it has radar, so we'll always be able to check to see if it's working. But yeah, that should be good. I'm pretty sure it has like 2 times the power it needs. So yeah, it's definitely fine. I don't think more solar panels doesn't make it go faster, I don't think, does it? I think it actually has to run for an hour, so it literally makes no difference to go above the bare minimum. But yeah, there's that one. Let's see if there's anything else we can do for UPS. It's almost 3 a.m. Yeah, that's fair. Thanks for the raid. I'm much appreciated. Hope you had a nice stream and hope you have a good night. Yeah, I need to make sure I save the VOD for this. Thanks for reminding me. Actually, yeah, because this would take me like 2 or 3 weeks to upload to YouTube, so I definitely need to save the Twitch VOD. Because I think a lot of people want to see how like the beginning chaos went. We actually did fail There Is No Spoon once, so technically this is our 2nd attempt. But this one's going a lot better. Looking forward to the end. But hope you have a wonderful evening. Don't worry. A lot of it is I've been brainstorming this for a long time. So I had a lot of ideas of how to make burner inserters work well. This is my first time doing it, but I've been planning it since like February. Actually, I've been thinking of burner ideas for like the past year. Oh yeah, let's check. We are also using solid fuel, but let's see. Coal. Wait, that did not work. I did not click on the search box. That's a lot more coal than I thought we were using. So 21k per minute. If we do hour, does that show us hourly rate? Okay, so we used 1.3 million per hour of coal, and for solid fuel, we're using 300k per hour. So if we were using exclusively coal, that means we would be using about 2.5 million coal per hour to produce 2.5 million green chips per hour. That seems right. It takes a single coal to produce 1 green chip. Wow, that's great. Burner inserters are so great. What's a 1-to-1 ratio of ore to output? Or fuel to output? Okay, well, I think... Oh, this can probably be cut. Half of this isn't running, and I don't think it ever will, so let's cut that. Yeah, well, let's see, are these running? I don't think these ones are running. Not really. Let's cut some of them. Yeah, right now we're just trying to get it up to 60 UPS. This didn't work. I didn't think it would, but it was a lot worse than I thought it would be. Like, I knew it was bad. I didn't realize it was that bad. But it's actually coal limited, so we can actually fix that. Okay, so the reason I did this just now instead of keeping it entirely as a red belt is because burner inserters have trouble grabbing from red belt. So if they're self-feeding, I don't use red belt because then they can die trying to grab that coal, except at very high concentrations. So it's really risky. So having it split and then recombining later just makes it that this only grabs things at low speed. Yeah, it is on, well, not peaceful, because that disables achievements. Instead, we are playing with pollution spread on 0. Because that allows you to still get the achievements, but pollution doesn't go outside of the chunk it's in. Which reminds me, we do need that achievement still. But yeah, since I wasn't playing with blueprints and had to get There Is No Spoon and stuff, I couldn't play with biters on. There would have been no shot of getting There Is No Spoon in time with both of those conditions. Because remember, it's all achievements, so I can't handcraft things. We had to launch a rocket in 8 hours. And you also have to get the train research in 90 minutes. So there were 2 time crunch achievements in the beginning that we had to get. which kind of made it that we had to play with really high resources if we wanted any shot of getting them before before we were overrun by biters. I think like a default playing with biters on in a non-achievement run would be fun at some point, but I just like the absurdity of making a mega base to get all the achievements in like less than 30 hours with burners inserters. I could not pass up that opportunity. Okay, this also... we have a lot of inserters we can save here because these are iron limited. Hold up, that might not... We need to be careful here, but... Yeah, we're trying to get back up to 60 UPS right now, which we're pretty close. These are dying, which means a lot of these must be dead. Yeah, okay, so none of these are working full speed, so those ones I can't really cut. These ones I can, but it's not a ton of asserters, so I don't gain a ton from this, but yeah, I'm not going to bother with these. I can cut mining lanes, that would be good. Maybe even some drills. Because, like, copper is very heavily overproduced, which means I could realistically cut... Like, this is very backed up, so realistically I could cut... How backed up is it, though? I don't think it's super backed up, but I think I could cut, like, a third of it. Like, I could definitely cut these edge ones. Yeah, no, I can definitely cut those. Because these patches were designed around me having 2 full copper lanes per set of outposts, not 1.5. Because I did not look at the recipe. I just assumed it took 2 copper. I forgot that it takes 1.5 copper. So we have too much copper in every single base, which is just a lot of wasted, like, performance. Which normally wouldn't matter that much, but because everything is so, like, terrible, we got to do what we can. No, it's a vanilla because the mod does not add anything that is interesting, in my opinion. Oh wait, this one, yeah, it's too late. But yeah, the thing about the mod is that it doesn't increase the complexity of the builds at all. So there's no point to do it, and playing like fully vanilla to see how much you can do with vanilla was more appealing to me than playing with a mod that doesn't change any designs. Because, like, if we had burner assemblers and burner labs, the only difference would be that these builds right here, hold on, in my main base, the only difference would be that these builds would look like this. So we would use one extra inserter per 10 inserters, and it wouldn't take any longer to build, it wouldn't take any longer to set up. So it just didn't seem worth it. And it wasn't something that super interested me because of that. But I prefer vanilla for most things. Although technically I do have an achievement. I do have this mod on, but no gameplay ones. But yeah, I do see the appeal of both. Because, like, on the one hand, while it might not increase the complexity of the builds to use burner assemblers, you would be consuming a lot more coal, and that's funny. To just consume more coal is always fun. I might try it like as just a regular run sometime, just not an every achievement run. Let's see, where else? We're really close to 60 UPS. I don't think there's that much more we can do. Let's go get some biters and maybe cut some trees. So, like, we're about to take a huge UPS hit. Oh crap, I don't know how to fire a gun because I changed it. Okay. I was not confident what my hotkey was. Currently we need to get 100 robots following us. So we just have to hold left click until we throw out 100 of them. It takes like 7 infinite researches or something. 6 or 7 infinite researches. Go towards just increasing bot size so that way you can get that achievement. It's a really weird achievement. I don't get why it's not achievable without infinite researches. Okay, and then does this work? How do I get this achievement? There's an achievement to trigger a biter attack with pollution, and I know you can do something with like burning stuff inside the chunk. Do I just have to not kill them? Is that the problem? That I killed the guys that would have attacked? It could be that simple. It works, but without your defenders. Gotcha. So I just have to wait for them to disappear. The forest might not work because I don't think it's in the same chunk. Because we don't have pollution spread on. But if we found a base that's closer to the forest, I'm sure that would be fine. Ah, there we go. That was simple enough. Okay, now we can put personal defenders back on. Okay, and just burn more trees. Should I be looking for a bigger forest or just run longer? I guess it doesn't really make a huge difference because we still have 3 hours left and there's not much we can do to expand our base. So I guess it doesn't really matter if we burn large trees or not, or large forests or not. We just want to make sure it's not next to our base, I imagine. That's probably fine. Let's see. I should have more personal defenders. There we go. I guess it's 10,000 trees, isn't it? That's a lot of trees. So I guess I do kind of need a bigger forest. Okay, ooh, this one's pretty big. I don't want to have to run around the trees, so I'm just cutting my way through. Sure, it sacrifices a few trees I can burn. I imagine I also have to take out the biters near the forest, because, like, can't they roam and then they would kill my base? I guess it wouldn't be too many biters. I can just burn the edges. Yeah, but that's not as fun. But yeah, true, I can just burn the edges. Also, I still need to get Golem, which needs... Oh, 4 energy shields is enough for that. Cool. I think. I don't know if it's safe, but it'll be enough. I'm pretty sure we have all the biter achievements now. Let's see. Killed by train, long train, survive a train. Well, technically not survive a train, but I imagine you can't get this achievement without a train. Maybe a nuke or something? Or artillery? Because I can't imagine biters can deal 500 damage in one hit. I don't have enough defense. I thought you only need, it says they have 150 hit points though. Is that not enough? Shouldn't that be 600 health? Oh, you have enough defense. I'm just dumb. Got it. I can't read. I see. I wasn't sure if there was like a multiplier for trains. Like, you know, you take more damage if you're actually hit by a train rather than just shot. But I guess that would only work if it was negative defenses. What is this? Oh, I was gonna expand power. I think I did that one in the process of clearing the biters for outposts. Looks like we have it. So let's pin the tree one so we can watch it tick up. Okay, and then the train thing won't be that hard to do. Although I feel like I'm going to die from the train. Well, I guess I'm supposed to, so that's not a big deal. It's weird that that's the intended approach. Let's see. I don't know if we burned enough trees. It's not a hard fix if we didn't, though. And yeah, we did lose like a couple UPS from that. Unsurprisingly. I might cut some of my main base. Because I really want to get to 60 UPS. Yeah. I do need to make a railroad. Let's see, my main base doesn't really need to run. This one actually is kind of being used. Why is 60 UPS important? I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but I just want to feel like my base isn't terribly UPS inefficient. Even if it makes no difference. But like, if I'm not expanding my outposts anymore, then I might as well get up to 60 UPS so it takes like 20 minutes longer out of my life sort of thing. Even though we're going by real time, but like I don't want it to take 30 minutes longer if I can avoid it. Hello, Zasper. Welcome, welcome. Turns out my CPU caps out at about 60,000 inserters. So we can't do any more expansions. We have about 3 hours left though. We're not too far off. It's just there's not much to do. We're cleaning up some of the achievements at the moment. And then after that, I think I want to work on ideas for a new outpost, even if we don't use them. Because I think I could do like direct insertion, and maybe that would work well. Like with furnaces, which I think would be cool. Because we're producing almost 3 million green chips per hour. And we have about 7.5 million to go. They're the last ones that have something you can track. There's still some achievements. Like I need to figure out where my rails are so I can go get hit by a train. And then I need to get killed by the train. And then I think those are the last two actually. I need to get hit and killed by a train. Why does it say... Oh, and we're waiting on Solaris, which we have set up, but it won't proc for like another 30 minutes, I think, because we set it up around the 26-hour mark. Let's see, get killed. Yeah, it's just the train ones now. Well, we don't really have a path, so I guess we'll make one. It doesn't need a train station, right? It can be a manual path, I imagine. But it's easy enough to add a train stop if that is required. Also, I haven't been counting how many tiles this is, so we're just gonna keep walking. Zemo or the Doe lost a PB once due to dying too many times to the train. That sounds like a rough way to lose a PB. Because that's like the very end of the run. How would you... Would that like only happen if you haven't done like the logistics delivery yet? Because like, what other achievements could there be? I guess if you hadn't done the trees one. Oh, we got the burning trees. Yeah, I guess if you didn't do that one like explicitly last, I could see the problem. I like how I just dropped like 100, probably like 100 or 200 blue chips, and I genuinely do not care. That's how you know you do not care about resources anymore, when you can just litter everywhere. Okay, this is probably 1,000 tiles, right? I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Let's see, where's the train? Oh, the train's not here. Well, fine. Huh. No, we request. Oh wait, hold up. Did we get a train? Maybe we dropped it. No, they never delivered it to us. Okay, that's a bummer. The idea was that I would get over there, look at the achievement for length check. Yeah, I can do that after I put a train on it, right? I wish I brought a train. I did not realize that the logistics spots had not delivered it yet, because I requested it, and then I probably immediately left the range. Oh, okay. That running out of shield energy, I see. Yeah, I guess like you only get like a couple attempts before it just kills you. I could see how that could cause some issues. Also, where are even our trains? You know what? You know what we don't need anymore? I don't think we need our mall train. Because if I'm being honest, it's not good. We didn't think it was good, but it's really not good. There we go. It is amazing. And I think with blueprints, it could be perfectly adequate. I don't think it would ever be great over just an actual mall, but I think it would be perfectly adequate. Okay, now we need to find the train. Because I just dumped everything. Okay, this is all we need. Perfect. But yeah, I like the mall train. I wish it could be better, but loading stuff onto a train is really hard, apparently. You would need like a lot of stops. It was a real setup, but both got a PB later. That is the important thing. Wasn't a huge loss. Also, after all that work, the bots delivered the train to us. Okay, where is fuel? Okay, so can we just do this? Wait. Does that work? Or does it have to have a train stop? 600. Wow, that's not even close. Drive on the train? Drive on the mall train? Oh, I could drive on the mall train. Just for fun. There we go. This is an efficient train. Oh my gosh, it's so slow. Wait, which way do we go? Okay, we finally got it to use this outpost. Because I don't think it has used this one before. Perfect. On any train, it was way faster than any other way of travel. True. But it depends where you're going. And also, if you don't have rocket fuel, it's not that fast. Apparently. I should have had rocket fuel. Maybe with more... Yeah, with rocket fuel, I think it would be better. Or at least it doesn't feel fast. Maybe that's it. It could just be like, it doesn't feel fast sort of thing. Yeah, I just have to get up to acceleration. Okay. It doesn't have to be linear, right? Let's make a fun little loop. I mean, what else can we do? We have this, and then we want to make see if we can make like a direct fed outpost that isn't terrible, like our direct smelting one, which was not good. I mean, we knew it wasn't good, but like it really wasn't good. You know, this thing that has like a that has like an ore density of like 15 or 20%. It's definitely a unique design. Not a good design, but a unique design, and that counts for something. Okay, let's see. Is this long enough? We did! Okay, cool. Honestly, we're gonna keep riding this and hit the other train. I like that. I like that little loop. There we go. The other train is important. Maybe we'll win this battle. I don't think we will, but maybe. Aw, man. It's intelligent? Or did I click the wrong spot? Aw. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, so now we need to get hit by this train, which... I don't know where we need to stand. At all. Let's just see how far we can get from it. Ah! Hey, we got it. Cool. we tried to outrun the train. It didn't work, but we did our best. Oh gosh, we died so far from our base. Why did we do it here? We have to walk there without exoskeletons. Hey, look, I spawned on a... I spawned on the conveyor belts. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I feel so slow. That's the trick to the no mouse run, or the mouse only run. You gotta spawn on a starting conveyor belt, so that way you can immediately move. That's what I did wrong with that run. Gosh, is this... I mean, I know technically I'm like 2% below. Yeah, I know I'm like 2% below normal speed right now, but man, after having exoskeletons for like 10 game hours, it feels bad. It feels like my first time playing Factorio, honestly. Because when I first got the game, I had a... I did do a mouse-only run, yes. When I first got Factorio, I was playing on a bad laptop that could only run it at 30 UPS. But this was back before it said the times in seconds. Like, it said the time in seconds, but it didn't say they were seconds. So, like, I kind of just assumed they were arbitrary crafting times. Or, like, crafting speeds. So it didn't even occur to me that they were seconds until I noticed, like... So I didn't really have anything, like, obvious to tell me, hey, you're not running the game at full speed. And because it just didn't occur to me to check, because the game was fun. And I hadn't watched many videos of it. I didn't know what speed it was supposed to look like. Didn't have like the debug menu or anything. And I played the game at 30 UPS for about 8 hours. And then I looked at the file, and it said 4 hours. And that's when I'm like, huh. That is not how long I've played. Like, I know I had at least played longer than that. So yeah, I eventually switched it to like my desktop computer because playing it at 30 UPS from rough. And then you got world record with it. Yes, this was 6 months ago, back when I had my Dell Inspiron from like 2010. I could ride a train to my corpse. True. But then that would have required more thinking than I wanted to do. But yeah, I did do a mouse-only run. It took like 8.5 hours. It could definitely be done faster. But I was, you know, just trying to have some fun with it. But yeah, it was interesting. We unbound every single hotkey, so we weren't able to move, we weren't able to rotate. I was able to Q-pick though, which was huge. Because the initial rotations had to be done by like putting an offshore pump on the water. Like so. It's like right now my inserter is facing... I think that's technically north. And then if I put an offshore pump here and click here, now the inserter is facing left, etc. And I thought I would have to do that for every single rotation. But it turns out Q-pick is a mouse button by default. Or one of like a side mouse buttons. Ooh, we got Solaris. Let's go. We have one more achievement left. Yep, that's it. We have we have 3 hours of circuit production left with nothing reasonable to speed it up. Cool. We could maybe... I think we could maybe do one more outpost, or like figure out an outpost, because I have an idea and it's really dumb, but I do want to try it. Time starter handcrafting. That's true. That would definitely not... That wouldn't be bad for UPS. Where is my base, and why are bots not bringing things to me? Oh, why is that off? It must have defaulted off. I feel like handcrafting would help, but also making sure my base runs would probably help too. Actually, it is running, right? That's why I have these at the end of my base, and it's still... It's only... I guess it's only 2 yellow belts of... It's only 2 yellow belts of green chips, which is nothing compared to the 100 that we already have. Yeah, it's not a significant increase. Well, okay, it's huge compared to this one. It's not significant compared to, like, this far, so that's something. Yeah, it's definitely the extra inserters. Default off when you die is good. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think I've died in Factorio before because I don't usually have things that can kill me. Or I've never died outside of like the first hour. Because after the first hour I get bored and turn biters off if I ever play with biters. Yeah, default off makes sense. Yeah, the extra coal is rough. The big thing is that mining outposts take up a lot of inserters and like smelting and just assembling machines because you have to have things feeding the output. So on average, honestly, I would say I use like 10 times. Like as an average, I probably use 10 times the inserter count, maybe 15 per equivalent production if you use electricity inserters. Because you don't have access to fast inserters, you have to double up every single output, and you have to have inserters in the fuel line, in the drill, in the mining, which obviously you don't have to do with regular electricity. So yeah, we end up with like, for every 1,000 regular inserters a normal run might use, I use like 10,000, which is why we're UPS bottlenecked after 2 million green chips or 3 million green chips per hour, because we just have so many inserters. And I think reasonably I can maybe optimize the outpost to save like 10 to 20% of that, and then I could have gone up to like 3.5 million green chips per hour. But I think I would have reached processor units pretty soon after that. Because yeah, that's a lot of inserters. We have, I think we deconned a lot, but we're up to, so we have 53,000 inserters and 10,000 drills. Oh, we did waste like, we do have like 10% extra drills everywhere because I miscounted how much I needed. Self-feeding doesn't save that much UPS though. Like I get what you're saying, but the self-fed inserters only saves like 1 inserter per 10. So it wouldn't be a significant, like it's not a significant increase. And you have to double up on them a lot of the time. So like you're looking at maybe like 5 to 10% reduced inserters, which is, it's something, but it's not going to make the difference of like being able to finish the end game in like 10 hours sort of thing. Yeah, the fact that most of the inserters are output inserters and feeding drills just makes it that reducing the self-feeding isn't substantial. It's better than nothing. And there are ways to make self-feeding safe. If you're willing to have a separate blueprint that activates an outpost after like 30 minutes or something, once you know coal is backed up. Because it's safe to self-feed as long as you can guarantee the whole belt is saturated with coal first. It's like you would have something like this, it would be self-feeding, but you would have this belt cut or like disabled. Maybe have some kind of logic which counts how much coal is at the end, maybe. And then after it decides it's backed up, then it would activate the lane. Like that could work. That could work all right. And if I use blueprints, it would definitely be good. It's too late to do that now. But I could probably get an extra couple 100,000 per real life hour from reducing self-feeding, or removing self-feeding. And in the main base, self-feeding would not be a choice at all, I don't think. But the outposts, which make up 95% of the inserter count, we could remove a couple thousand and that would be nice. But one idea I had was this. Something along like this line, right? So then we don't have to double up the output inserters and input inserters from like smelting lanes. But this one's a tricky payoff because you'd also have a lot more idling inserters if you did something like this, so I don't know how the math works out. Yeah, it's a nightmare. But like, here's like the thinking, right? So if I have a lane like this, these inserters are going to be saturated and pretty much working full time, and it works out perfectly. But you also have the inserters outputting from here. So if you did something like this, you might have the inserters idling like a couple percent more often, or a few percent more often. But you don't have those 4 output inserters for every furnace pair, which is actually a lot. So maybe it would pay off. Like, because you would save what, like 2 inserters per assembly machine line, but they're all going to be running at like 90% speed instead of 100. Time to clock the entire base with circuits. Something like that would be a bit tricky, I would say. I think in burner inserters, you can technically clock them, but because they're so slow, like they move so slowly, having them like specifically grab stuff at certain times, they just don't grab things fast enough after they get the signal to grab things. And I think that might cause problems, and you'll end up just idling like 90% of your base. Because like they have trouble grabbing from a belt. Could you imagine if they had to grab from a belt at a specific time? they do not like things. But yeah, I think something like this is actually possible. But the problem with this, well, one, getting coal to it is tricky. Well, idling 90% of it's not UPS friendly compared to just having a full base work 100, having a base that's 10% smaller work all the time. It's like idling things are worse than not having it at all. Diagonal, I don't think there's a way to go diagonal. Also, 4 furnaces per assembler, you don't have the inserter throughput to do more than 2.5 furnaces per assembler when it comes to like the outputs. So if I did 4 furnaces here, I would actually be getting way too much copper, and there's no way I can output enough from this unless I output it into 2 machines. And then I think then you just run out of space to feed coal. So you might be able to fit 3. I don't think 4 would work, but I wouldn't say you could probably get each assembler to get 1.2 resources per second, which is actually perfectly in line with the inserter speed for this, right? No, they move 1.8. It's not far off, though. It's not far off. I wish we could get a third. Another option, if you had like a gap here, you could clean it up a lot. But I feel like if you had a gap here, you're kind of losing the benefit of saving inserters because you're replacing 4 inserters with 4 inserters. And now all of the inserters are working less. So I can't imagine if I have to pass coal from, or if I have to pass a wire through a gap, I think that will be worse overall. Because like, let's see, I think I brought it up. Show entity time usage. So this is my time usage, 10 milliseconds to calculate all the inserters. So that's why I think these are the only things that really matter right now. Because what, assembly machines, 0.3. Mining drills are 1. Actually, mining drills are kind of high. But that's to be expected when you have 7,000 of them, or 10,000 of them. But yeah, inserters I think we can do a little bit with. Maybe get it to like 9 milliseconds. Also, while we're doing this, we're at 60 UPS. So while we plan this, we can actually like run our base fully. That's awesome. Which I need to double check if it's actually running fully. I need to check the power grid. Okay, so it is running fully. Okay, so what is our final circuit production? That's lower. Something stopped. Oh, right, our main base kind of ran out. That's fine. It's only like 5% lower. I don't think that matters that much, because I think if it's at its peak, it can do 47,000. But I imagine, I think these over here idled probably make up that last like 1K. Just various things in the main base. That's not worth it. Okay, so if we assume 2 per furnace, wait, hold up. We would have to share it, right? So if this used 2, I think sharing the inserters probably doesn't just, I don't think it would fit at all. which kind of complicates things. Because like this is the right resource ratio, I think. Actually, this doesn't look awful. Because let's see, this can get the outputs it needs. This would have to go one tile up. Okay, so these need one output here. That works. This is a bit problematic. So burner inserters don't like this. This one will work fine. This one will pretty much guaranteed be dead. Is there a way around it? With circuit logic? No, circuit logic would be difficult. You would have to like check to make sure this is backed up fully before this ever activates. And you'd have to make sure it's doing that for like multiple belts. You could do it in parts. So if you had a second blueprint that pasted these ones after the whole thing was backed up, it would be fine. Same way, like if I had things self-feeding, as long as you waited to connect a resource or to connect or to place the burner drills until after there's a whole belt of coal, then I think you'd be okay, because all the inserters would be placed. They would grab coal and then it would back up again. But yeah, these right here do not work if they don't back up, which is unfortunate. But if it makes the base significantly more compact, that's a possibility. These cannot work full speed. Oof. Wait, do they work full speed? Hold up. If this is moving 1.2 items per second, we need 2.4 out, which means we do need 2 inserter outputs. Maybe... No, that doesn't really work. Maybe if the ratio is 1-to-1? Oh, we can't power the furnaces here. Okay, so let's actually set a recipe so that way I can visualize what we're looking at here. Okay, so this probably will not work. Yeah, so this would be iron. This would be copper. And obviously the furnaces themselves are really easy to do. We need 2 outputs on the one that's not shared and 1 output on the shared, if we want to be able to have the inserters move fast enough. I don't see much. And we also need an output that can output into 3 chests. Or at least 2 chests. I think at the rate this produces, that's what... It's like 1.3 item circuits per second per assembly machine, I think. Because we would have prod modules in it. And a chest is 4,800 times... Or, no, 48 times 200 divided by... Each chest will run for 2 hours. Yeah, that's another thing when it comes to burner drills. Because you're going to be producing so much less, you need significantly more chests. And the chests also consume a lot of the UPS. You could maybe reduce it by... If you went into a rail signal, you could... If you went into a train, you would need a lot of trains. But you wouldn't need... You could have the inserter be self-feeding if it went into a train. Oh, but then you would have to output onto a belt. So you probably end up with the same amount of inserters. But yeah, if you want to use burner inserters, you have to buffer into chests. And each thing going into a chest needs its own coal. And they can't self-feed, I don't think. Unless I'm dumb and there's a way to filter a chest. Can you filter a chest at all? Or are there any chests you can filter? I don't think you can filter any kind, right? Because if there was, that would be useful. Sup, Ghosty? Welcome. Yeah, we have all of the achievements except for one at the moment. And there isn't anything we can do to speed it up because if I zoom out, you can see what happens. So yeah, we have like perfectly capped our UPS. We can't expand the base anymore. So I'm brainstorming ways to make a more optimized build. White chest? What the heck is a white chest? What's a white chest? I don't know. That's not a thing. Yellow. Oh, I thought you meant like white or yellow can filter. I didn't realize that was a correction. Gotcha. They can do a logistics filter, but can they do a non-logistics filter? Because that's the thing we need to filter. I could add fancy disco lights. I don't think that would help with the UPS problem. Yeah. There is always a run to interrupt. Let's see. Number 554. I don't think I interpreted this right. 554. There we go. Slightly less dark black. I feel there's something else there. Unless, no, I don't get this. If it's a reference, I do not get it. But currently our color is slightly less dark black. But yeah, this is the filter we need to do. Basically my thinking is if you could add a filter on a chest like you can with a cargo wagon, right? If I had a cargo wagon, it would actually be a lot easier to explain. Let's go to the train mall. The perfect, awesome train mall that is good and definitely not useless. That 100% I recommend doing and is the best use of burner inserters and trains we have ever done. It produces like one mining drill per like 10 seconds because it's a very well made use of trains. So yeah, this is what happens when you have to use burner inserters, which already aren't good, and the person making it doesn't know a thing about trains. You get this. We have an intermediates chain wagon just filled with a bunch of random junk that can directly go into an assembling machine and output. Scalability wise, or like modularity wise, I don't think this is a terrible idea. But yeah. Modularity wise, I think this idea is good. But when I was building it, I was thinking the benefit would be that you could get more inserters per assembling machine when you did this. I was wrong. You can still only get like 2 to 3 inserters per assembling machine, so it didn't actually end up having the throughput increase that it was intended to, which is why it didn't work. Can you copy automobiles? I don't know why I called them that. Can you copy cars? Or do you need to place them by hand? Because being bot accessible would be very good. But I think it would need to be something that can be done with bots for it to work out. Let's see, I guess we just have a car, right? No, we don't. Do we have engines? Let's just make a car. Let's play around with a car idea. That could be fun. Then let's see, we need more train stuff. No, we don't need more train stuff. We do need the cargo wagons, which are... Where the heck are cargo wagons? Aren't they a logistics thing? Yep, there they are. I did try to use a locomotive as a filter once. It didn't work. It turns out you can't output outside of... You can't steal coal from a locomotive, which was sad. And I'm assuming you can't filter any of these. No. Why can't you filter chests? I feel like that would be a really cool mechanic. Also, why am I so slow? Ah. That would do it. Okay, so car. Maybe I should make sure I get the car before I leave. Yikes. Okay. Where is a logistics range? It's a personal one. Is the time of your favorite audio saga? Okay, so I'm not supposed to get the reference. That makes more sense. I wasn't sure if it was like a number 42 type thing situation. Okay, well, I guess I can just do this here. Okay, so basically, if you have a cargo wagon right here and you filter all the slots to be like one resource, you can have these be self-feeding because you now have coal on the belt, but it can't put the coal in the wagon. But without the filter, if you wanted them to be self-feeding, you would have to have really specific like resource prioritization. Like I think if you got the timings right, you might be able to make it that they mostly just grab iron, like you might be able to make it that they only grab from the close side, but that would require you to have like a very, very specific amount of inserters and would break very fast. And you would use a lot of your very limited storage space, so it wouldn't be the greatest option. And if you're consuming coal and putting it inside a wagon, that would also kind of be bad. Because you really need coal to back up. So yeah, I guess that's not a way to save on inserters. So yeah, I think storing stuff is always going to be pretty inefficient. There is one option. Is it better? One option is to have like one long row that stores and then have like a chest storage elsewhere. And the advantage of doing something like that, hold on, this way. So the advantage of something like that, you would have extra inserters going into chests, but you wouldn't have to make every outpost excessively large. So maybe you would save inserters overall because it would be modular. Like you could expand, if you had a central storage point, you could very easily expand how many things you're storing. And you could even cut inserters if you did that. It's like at this scale, that might actually be better, right? So like you would store inserters in one point, and then when it backs up, you would just build another next to it, and then you would cut the original inserters. It might be a little extra effort, but you could save hundreds, if not thousands, of inserters that way. Reflect. I should not even try to pronounce that. It's in a fantasy world, but written like French poetry. It's great and in French. Yeah, I can barely even read it. I don't think I could read the French poetry either. Yeah, this is the biggest flaw, I think, of this design. Not having output chests easily. How many inserters would it save, though? Realistically, this does save 6 inserters per, like, 30. Ooh, this is a lot of work for, like, a 20% reduction in inserters. That might be even more inserters if it's actually functional. Let's see, that's supposed to be an output, right? What if... I can't get coal to this last one. What if they didn't run full speed? What if I used twice the assemblers to make it more inserter optimized? Could that be better for... I feel like there's a chance that could be better for UPS. It would also reduce the amount of chests you need because none of them are running full speed. The biggest flaw of this design is the use of burner inserters. Nah, that's not a flaw. That's its biggest advantage. You save so much electricity by doing this. For every one inserter you use, you save 6 kilowatts of energy. I mean, sure, you're consuming 5 times the total fuel, but you're saving 6... Actually, no, you're consuming way more than that. You're consuming like 10 times the total fuel. But you're saving 6 times, 6 times the energy. Actually, hold up. What is... This consumes 155 kilowatts. The inserters going into it and out of it consume about 42 each. So there's a chance that the assemblers use more fuel than the... I think the inserters for this use more fuel than the assemblers do. Gosh, burner inserters are terrible. But hello, Tharsic. Yeah, basically, this is one big run where we're trying to get all achievements. But we maxed out my CPU. So we can't really do any more expansions. So we're coming up with more cursed outpost ideas while we wait for that. Because it's really just a wait as we produce about 2.5 million green chips per hour to wait for another like 6 million-ish to produce. So we're not that far off. But I think I had ideas for a really dumb like direct fed outpost, and I wanted to get it working. But it's harder than I expected. No, it's not. It's as hard as I expected. I was hoping it would deceive me and be easy. But we are not so lucky. Okay, I think maybe if we did one output, this could work. That's not too bad. This can run full speed. One output works here. We can't feed this one. Wait, is that okay? Okay, so this produces... Let's see, this wants to consume 3 circuits, or 3 wire per second. This one wants to... Well, it's not getting enough... No, it isn't getting enough iron. No, it's not getting enough iron. Copper. If we could give this one more copper, it could work better. But there's no way to get another furnace here. Yeah, there's no way to get another furnace here, because it would need to input up here. And there's not enough space to get coal there. Being like a weird mix of inserters limited and furnace limited is weird. Like there's too many like interconnected bottlenecks right now for like an already terrible idea for this to like actually work well. But if we did this... Wait, hold up. Are splitters bad for UPS? They're probably bad for UPS. Because like doing all of this, every inserter we save, we're pretty much adding a splitter. And I feel like that defeats the entire purpose. Because yeah, you're using one extra splitter for every single inserter we save here. I thought it would be like... I thought it would be less. Maybe I can do it without a splitter? Like this? The reliability would be pretty low, so we need to make sure it backs up first, but I think that's true for the entire build. Oh wait, hold up. How do I... Oh wait, this doesn't work at all. Yeah, no, because we can only get one furnace into the middle one. Surprising nobody, direct feeding assembling machines is not a good strategy with burner inserters. I knew it would be bad. I don't think it's as bad as this design, but it's still not good. But yeah, it's I don't think anything tops... I don't think anything tops the absurdity of this design. Cuz like we actually never copied the density or calculated the density here. We're just going to do a quick estimate using this whole thing, because this is probably large enough that we can round. So this has 160 out of 870. This has a density of 20%. This is a density of 20%. Mining patch density. So for every 4 tiles that the burner drill takes up, 8 of it is covered with 8 more... No. For every 4 tiles the burner drill takes up, 16 more tiles are either gaps, belts, or inserters. So yeah, this isn't good. It also took like 15-20 extra minutes to start, and a lot of them died permanently because of coal issues, because of gaps. It wasn't good. I'm glad we did it, because someone did request it, and I wanted to fulfill that request. But yeah, this has a density of 67%. It's not super tileable, and I imagine not great for my UPS, but it's decent. Oh, you know, that is something I wasn't considering. If I plan to do a run like this again, I think realistically I could plan for like twice the rocket launches and have a bigger starter base that runs while I do the outposting and get like 2 more mining productivity research. Oh, those are pretty expensive. Never mind. I think the only reason I got as far as I did is because it took 24 hours. But even with like a large base that launches a rocket like 5 times an hour, you wouldn't be able to get that much more than this. Because you would be doing it over a shorter window. Okay, I don't think there's that much UPS to save by mining productivity. There's some. Because like it does reduce your inserter and drill count by 10% per mining lane, but that doesn't go that far if you have to add like 5,000 extra inserters to make up for it. That's a long ROI, a lot longer than like 1 day. What if I do a 1-to-1 ratio? What if I stagger it? Hold up. What if I angle it? Let's undo that. Just to keep it. Let's make another. What if we do this? What if instead the cables come from the side? Like this? And we just waste assembly machines? This kind of works. But then you can actually get this running full speed. Well, let's see. This is iron. This is... We only need 1 running here. So it could look like this. Is this as bad as I think? Let's see. It doesn't use a ton of extra inserters. Because like this is almost inserter limited. So this isn't that wasteful. This doesn't run fully though, so we haven't fixed that problem. That might be fixable. Hold up. If we don't have the copper on both sides, there might actually be... Oh yeah, that works. I can mirror it and have like 1 on the other side. Like that. Okay, and this brings up another issue. How do we store the chests? So realistically, you would need to plan for like 3 hours. No, like realistically, you'd have to plan for like 10 hours, I think, from an outpost if it was the first one. But if you didn't plan for it to be the first outpost, then you would only have to plan for like 5 to 6 hours if you could get them done fast enough. So that means you only need 2 chests. That simplifies it a lot. Feeding another GC from the bottom wire, but it's not working. Oh, that's a shame. But if it was a stair-step pattern... the chests definitely complicate things. Not being able to get things easily into a chest makes it that a lot of things don't end up working, doesn't it? Because then you would need iron over here. Because you would need to like rotate this whole thing and get a set going right here. Mirroring with a belt of output in the middle can work. A belt of output... Yeah, that's what I was... A belt of output is tricky because you do end up adding a lot more inserters because you're not directly going into a chest. And I think you're adding enough inserters that way that it's hard to pay for itself in that case. Not impossible, but the benefit drops down to like a couple percent inserter savings versus like 5. But that doesn't mean it's not an option. Because there is the advantage with a belt output. There is that advantage I was talking about. Where if you use a belted output, it's scalable for how many chests you have. So you could just increase the chest buffer size for the early outpost and decrease it for the later ones. And have like, this is 1 hour of production. This is 2 hours of production. And decrease it as you go. Which would save a lot of inserter. Like, that's not a bad strategy. Because this outpost, the chests alone make up... Well, this is a bad example. This outpost sucks. This outpost, which is actually decent. The inserters going into chests are 140, which is half of pretty much the entire assembly machine setup. So if you could make it modular and go from like 30 inserters to 50 inserters to like 90, that would reduce a lot of waste. Does this work? Oh, well, we can't get the 2 iron inputs with this. You need a double belt of output, which isn't necessarily a problem. Oh, wait, hold up. I haven't fixed this issue. Also, how much input do I need? You can what? There's so many inserters that need to be fed. Just move one of them off by 1. Yeah, you can move it off by 1, but we also still haven't fed this one. Well, if we move the iron furnace setup, we can't have 2 outputs from the green chips as easily. Unless maybe this one can be the double input. That might work. If this one could be the double input, it's not impossible. Yeah, well, moving the iron furnace setup with the way I had it wasn't an option, but maybe if we change where the wires come from. With an underground here, that would be nice, but then we need 2 outputs from this, right? Because this is 1.2, so this is 2.4, so then we need double inputs. Well, I wasn't on board with the mirror option anyway. This is just trying to get what I had working. So, like, the first thing we need to do is make sure the non-mirror version worked, which wasn't functional, before we try to make a mirrored version work. So currently the priority is just getting one thing working. Then we can work on getting a second one working. But our old option didn't have any of it working. This can definitely be shifted over, which is nice. So yeah, this is a lot more flexible than moving the iron. And this can go over a tile if it needs to. Hello, Pantabo. Welcome, welcome. We're making cursed designs while we wait for some green chips to craft, because I don't know, it seemed fun. I think realistically, the inserter reduction. Well, we have an on-patch build. We have an on-patch smelting build. It's fun. It's really bad. It has like 1/3 of the density. And you can't really do on-patch circuit production because it's not like you're going to have iron and copper next to each other. Yeah, this has a belt density of 20% compared to a belt density of 70% with a normal mining lane. And it works way worse and has like twice the inserter count. It's great. But it's fun. But it's not good. Why are inserters so... Why are these so bad? Something like... It is diagonal too, yes. Well, that's kind of the only way to do the smelting directly. You have to, because I've done designs like that before. It does become diagonal. Am I preparing stuff for another one? I don't think so. I had an idea and I kind of wanted to see what it looked like. Because we're still 2 hours from finishing. Wait, did we ever launch? Wait, did we launch a fish? Oh wait, hold up. We got the fish achievement. I wonder if we got lucky and when we control clicked our inventory, the fish was first and it launched the fish. Because we accidentally launched the first rocket when we got there as no spoon, but I didn't manually put a fish in it. I just control clicked and all of my inventory got dumped. So I did not realize we had that one. So that's fun. This isn't terrible. This one's working mostly full speed. This one's working full speed. They all have outputs. This isn't bad. Unless there's something I'm missing, but this is not the worst thing I've made. This should definitely shift over a tile though, so that way it has a safer grab. We're producing about 2.5 million per hour. And I need to double check. We're still producing 2.5 million per hour. More, well, like a little above that. So we still have 5 million to go, but it's not too bad. I probably won't stream for 4 hours today. I don't have any plans. I mean, I'm taking like a week off, so I don't really like need to immediately think of something, but I won't be streaming till the weekend, I don't think. This might, I don't know. I was hoping to finish this today, but the UPS bottleneck made it that that wasn't an option unless I did 2 4-hour streams. So, yeah, I probably won't actually end up finishing this week. This is not bad, but we don't have copper going here. So how do we loop this so that way we can get... Yeah, how do we loop this so that way we can get copper into this belt? Because I think if I have to use a splitter, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? I don't know a ton about it, UPS, but I imagine splitters are probably not any better than an inserter. So if I have to use a splitter for this to try to get the resources here, it could be bad. Underground past the green circuits and top copper wire. So an underground doesn't work there because we need the copper and the coal from the belt. Because it can't end there. So an underground would... Well, unless we went like around. We might be able to go around. Oh, that's not long enough. These could be staggered. Right? Can we shift these over? Yes, these can go over one tile. Okay, so if we shift the green circuits, we could go through there. This end right here is troublesome. Okay, and that's an iron belt. Cool. So we somehow need to get this an output. I don't like that. Having it come from the top would definitely have been better. Let's shift it back to its original spot right there. Like the inference from the bottom one loops to the left to feed that one. Well, currently the issue is just lack of space. There isn't a spot to get an underground. Like as it is, there isn't a spot where an underground can fit that isn't half an underground. Because we also have to feed this one. Because like you meant like, I'm assuming you meant like this, which feeds this, but these still need to be fed. So that would have to come from somewhere else. Maybe we could go over? Well, that kind of has the same problem. I want to avoid a splitter. I think one splitter would be okay, but I do want to avoid it if possible. I guess if we don't care about space, we definitely have a lot more flexibility if we do this one here. And then maybe we can shift this down again. Oh wait, hold up, that doesn't work, does it? That might work. Does this work? Huh, that might work. Does that look good? Am I missing something here? This still has 2 outputs, they all have coal. This one is fed, this one has 1, feed, fed, fed, fed. This is decent. I mean, we might be able to unfold it too and get some more space, but this would be iron ore, and this would be copper ore. And then we don't have to feed that from this side, which is nice. And then this is expandable, so I can actually make this do multiple hours if I want. Okay, this looks decent. Let's see if we can make it smaller. We might be able to move this onto the side. That would make it a bit more compact. This part right here is actually really bad though. So if I were to actually use something like this, I would, if I were to actually use something like this, I would have to have it in like 3 stages pretty much. I would have to put all of the coal on and then paste the inserters, so the startup time would be high. But it would be fun. So you can input. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. That is more compact though. Well, we have this space where we have the storage, so unless we double up on this side, which we might do, we can make it go 1 tile down here, or make it wider, and that depends on if we mirror it or not. They can't pull from an underground going away from them, and they can't pull from a curve unless the spelt saturation is really, really high. In other words, backed up. So while they can do it, if they're self-feeding and pulling from, it's like this one right here. This one right here, I can guarantee you will not start if I paste it as a blueprint, because it's pulling from an underground going away from it, and this one has priority. So this one will try like 4 times, and then it'll run out of starting fuel. And then same with this one. This one will probably manage to grab, but this one won't, because this keeps stealing it. And this one will end up dying. That's why like I have very little self-feeding things in my starting base, because you have quirks like that. Or if you run out of coal briefly, but you're still getting ore, you run into problems where they'll run through buffered resources and then the inserters will die. But the main problem is the startup time. You just need to make sure coal is all backed up. Yeah, that's one of the many reasons burner inserters are terrible. Like there's nothing really redeeming about them. Space-wise, if I use a single underground here, startup time is way safer. It's way more compact too. Hold up, it might be worth, I think a splitter there might be worth it. I feel like 1 splitter is a good idea, right? Because this feels way better. Because that is very, very linear. It uses 1 splitter, but the burner reliability is going to be a lot higher. This isn't great. Maybe I should do that again. A split, one splitter. Actually, grabbing from the side of a splitter is bad, but this one can be fixed by going here. This one, normally I would not be a fan of doing it like this, but it works out because this isn't like sharing something. So you only need like 2 coal to go through before this will successfully grab from that. If you had a burner inserter on each side, this wouldn't work, because this one would, same reason as the underground. The coal's going away from it, so it would be lowest priority. But by itself, you can usually do this. This is pretty clean. And then it's probably mirrorable, right? Why didn't anything copy? Oh, there's belts here. Okay, I'm still not sure if this is worth it. This might be using too many splitters. But it's definitely, it's a fun design. I do like the design. It's probably not a good design, but I do like the design. And this would run for roughly 5 to 6 hours, I think. Maybe 7 with 2 chests. This is neat. I wonder if there's a way to make it more compact. Like, I think you could possibly tile this, right? Like, this looks like something would fit in here. Not quite. Wait, hold up. They can't, I wouldn't want them to grab from red undergrounds, but I could use red underground for distance, as long as I don't have something grabbing from it. Top wire into GC didn't mirror right. Top wire into GC didn't mirror right. Oh, yes. I think that's fixable though, right? Maybe not. Good catch. That, I don't think it's impossible. But it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't work. I was thinking I could add the splitter here. But then I can't move this splitter. So I won't be able to power this one. Or I could. I could have both. Like something like that. It's 1 extra underground, but it does make it that it works. It's not, it doesn't have the reliability I want, but it might be an option if I can't just shift these. Which I might. I might just be able to shift this, right? Yeah, I don't think I need to do that, because I think I can just shift this 1 tile. Did I shift it the wrong direction? No, that works. That works. Okay, so it would just have like a staggered pattern like this. Why does that look the exact same? Okay, but because this one isn't mirrored, but this one is. I see. This might work. They all seem like they'll mostly be okay. Again, you need to paste all. I mean, I guess no matter what, I'm going to need to have the belt saturate before any of the coal fills it. So, like, just because of this one alone. So I guess I don't need to worry about that. Like, it's a requirement anyway. I don't need to stress about it and design around it. Because we have to do it regardless. Unless we have vertical belts, which we could have vertical belts. But I don't think I want those. Okay, so these work. And if I could, like, fit it in between each other like this, that would be perfect. I think this works. And I could even fit it. No, with belt weaving, with belt weaving this works. Is there any difference in where it goes though? I don't think it matters. Probably want to have it as far left as I can go. If I shift, no, I can't shift the furnaces. Okay, so like something like this, and then I would have. Oh, that's just too short. Oh, that's so unfortunate. It's 1 tile too short. I thought it would reach. Maybe I can go above? No. Wow. Blue belt? If we had blue belt in the outpost, we could clear that gap. What if I flip it vertically instead? I mean, that would work. Yeah, there. flipping it vertically. I mean, I probably have I probably have another mirror problem that I have to worry about. No, actually, I think that's good. So then copper comes from here, here, and then iron comes from... This is just coal. You can even share the copper belt if you flip it like that. I don't see a way to share the copper belt. Well, I do see a way to share the copper belt, but it requires a separate copper belt too. Or it requires a separate coal belt, so I don't know if it helps. But yeah, it would give you the option to either share this copper belt or make this like a pure coal belt, which could be good. But it does, yeah, it does have that option. Let's see, is there... Let's see, it would make it taller. I like how I like how sharing the belt makes it taller. That's a great idea. Wait, what happened here? What is this? That was a failed blueprint, isn't it? Undo, 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 undo. Yeah, okay. I put it in the wrong spot. Or I deleted it. Trying to fix it. So it would need to go here. If I have copper coming from the right, does that make a difference, or should I flip it? See, which is more compact? I don't think it matters, right? No, it doesn't look like it matters. This is more compact. Wait, hold up. This can go up one tile. That makes it easier. Can this go up a tile? Oh my gosh. That looks so much nicer. Okay, can I do the same with this one? Okay. Now we're cooking. Okay. I like this. That's pretty good. No, that looks... This is not the worst thing I've designed in this run. Don't even need that splitter now. I don't see a way around the splitter. Well, I guess I could replace the splitter with a dedicated belt of coal. But the splitter is to get coal to this inserter. Maybe if I had it staggered, I could have the coal coming from this belt. So maybe with the way I have it designed, that splitter is necessary. But if I have this copper lane, I don't need the splitter. I don't think. Well, I can't... Yeah, I think when I have them combined into one, the splitter actually can be skipped. Because this would be fed from the top. You can't just have the splitter be a belt going up. Well, the issue was that I needed... I would have to, like... No, that doesn't work. But no, the splitter was necessary because this and this were staggered. Like, I had to get coal in, like, 3 awkward spots. But when I have them combined, I think I can skip the splitter. Oh, only the splitter on the right side. Yes, that one could be skipped. What? I didn't see that one. Okay, so that one's an option. But if we have these staggered just right, there is a chance that we don't need it at all, which would be great. Because this would be fed from the top. This one would go straight through. This would be fed from the top. This one is unnecessary. And then this would be fed from the bottom. And this would go straight through. This... Oh, actually, this is a pretty good reliability as well. Because this has a decent priority. This has a decent priority. So that might actually be effective. I like how the way to make this work is to have the copper for the furnaces being fed from the other copper lane. I wonder if I could just switch the inserters around so like logically it makes more sense. This is not too shabby. Um, we still need to clean up more inserters. Also, I wish I had these resources. Maybe I should have been building this in bot range. I might do that. I mean, it won't get here for a while, but I want to actually like see this in action now. Okay, so where was I? I was fixing splitters. Because this one is unnecessary because now it can be fed from the top. Okay, so the strat was to make a larger grid so that way it's easier to conceptualize where the coal comes from. Perfect. I mean, at least we figured it out. That's the important thing. So what we would actually conceptually should do is probably just switch all of these. So that way they're together. And it's just easy to visualize mistakes, I would say. It's like it's 2 up top, 2 up bottom, 2 up top, 2 up, 2 on the bottom. Okay, I think that works. Okay, so this is getting copper, this is getting copper, this is getting copper, this is getting copper. Perfect. And these are each getting copper from the inside. And then iron. Okay, so this is actually just a pure belt. I don't like how this is just a pure belt, but I don't think I can avoid that. Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do about the pure belt there. Because like there's not a great way to get coal down here. Unless I can have these like staggered, but I don't think, no, I can't have these staggered. What if the iron came from the side? No. Like if one of the iron came from the side. It would be safer. And then I would have to like route it around. So my thinking here, let's go out of the range. So my thinking here is that if I swapped this and the chest, I can maybe reduce the amount of like belts I have, but not by a ton. We are currently producing 2.6 million green chips per hour. And we are maxed on my CPU while streaming, so I can't make more outposts. If I wasn't recording or streaming, I could probably get another 500,000, but if I want to actually like have it recording and stuff, we can't expand it much more. Considering it's only burner inserters, I think it's pretty okay. Because we do have to use 5 to 10 times the inserters as an electric-based build would use. So it's understandable that I run into UPS issues 10 times faster. Like, it definitely tracks. But I wasn't expecting to actually reach a UPS limit because I thought it would take so long to build things. But we actually ran into it yesterday. So we cut a few of the builds that were overproducing to make sure they had fewer inserters. But yeah, burner inserters are just always going to be bad. But we did manage to get back to 60. It dropped to 45 the other day. But we got back to 60, and now we're just working on like a possible. Now we're working on like a possible UPS efficient build, which I think is great. The only achievement left is the 20 million green chips. So at the moment, I had an idea for a really dumb outpost that I'm working on right now, which we might be able to set up before launch. It won't really help much, but I think we could at least build one of them. And I don't know, I've always liked the idea of like burner only runs, and I've done burner only stuff before. but I wanted to get all the achievements in one, like, not one day, but like one single file. Probably not, because it's still another hour and a half away. And I don't think I'll be able to. I don't think I'll be able to stream for another hour and a half. I was thinking there was a chance we might finish today, but the UPS issue kind of just made it not possible. Because if we could have done one more set of outposts yesterday, finishing today would have been an option. But not being able to expand kind of makes that rough. No, it's not offensive. I did a challenge where I beat the game using only my mouse, so like I am aware that they are genius, stupid challenges. Like they're not designed to be smart. They just are designed to be dumb and fun. I'm trying to see if there's a way to remove one belt here. If I use red belt, I could, but red belt will like pretty much guarantee that the inserters will never work, so that's not viable. Mouse only, no rebinds specifically. So you move around by doing this. You place belts underneath yourselves. You do the initial rotations using offshore pumps or rail signals. So I use an offshore pump because it is faster. But like if you look here, the inserter is facing to the left. If I hover a rail signal on that north shore, now it's facing up. And then if I hold it there again, it's facing left again. So that's how I did the initial rotations. And then once I got a bunch of rotations, I was able to use Q-pick because by default that's bound to mouse 4. So I was able to use that one. But yeah, initial rotations were done using offshore pumps and movement was belts. The only condition was you had to spawn on an iron patch to be able to get the first belt, because you never spawn within reach of that starting iron. So you just have to make sure you spawn on iron, so that way you can mine enough for a belt, and then you can move around. It only took like 20 rerolls because we turned resources up so high. I think with default settings, you probably would have been like a 1 in 1,000 chance, which would be slow. But yeah, currently, we're trying to see if we can have iron on this belt. We can reduce the size. How bad are splitters? Because like I could make this a lot more I could reduce the amount of belts by 1 if I used splitters. And I have no idea about Factorio UPS. Like, what's worse? 100 tile belt with a bunch of undergrounds, or like 2 splitters? Because those are kind of my options right now. Because I could trade this underground set for... Basically, I would trade this for... Where's the splitter? I would basically trade this for something like this instead. I don't know if the difference would be huge, but I imagine the splitters are probably worse. Yeah, it was a fun run. It took like 8.5 hours. It could definitely be done faster. Also, blueprints would have also sped that one up. But the reason I did a no mouse only challenge instead of just no walking is because no mouse meant there was still difficulty after the bot phase. Because you don't have a lot of access to blueprint tools. Because, you know, normally if you blueprint, you can deconstruct things and then you can delete that. I wasn't able to do that. I could only deconstruct. I couldn't undeconstruct. You can't rotate blueprints because the offshore pump trick does not work with blueprints because blueprints have their own individual rotation that's like locally saved. It's like if you rotate a blueprint, it will stay rotated forever, specific to that blueprint, no matter which way your mouse is rotated. Well, rotate until you reload. So yeah, I had to do bot management without a mouse, which was very tedious. It was a lot of like zooming in the map and then dragging on the map. And I had to open the map by clicking on the mini-map. It was fun. Yeah, I think this is decent. This is such a huge gap. I really wish it could be... Wait, hold up. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. That's perfect. Okay, well, we found the solution to the underground problem. We just had to figure out where it tessellates. Oh, that looks so good. And then it's not wasting any... Then it's not wasting much space. So this is like a nice little grid. It's mirrored awkwardly. So if you do two of them next to each other... Would it have to go here? This would probably go here. Yeah, so this would be like 2 copper lanes, then 2 iron lanes would be the pattern. That's a pretty decent pattern. If I rotated it, if I flipped it, I could probably make it more compact. But I don't think that I need to worry that much about compactness. Also, ooh, if you do it like this and don't worry about making it compact, you do have the option of making these run for more hours, because this only runs for like 6, and I can make it 12. I think I'm happy with this. Now we need to see if it works. So let's go make a mini outpost, I guess. Does that work? I don't think I tessellated the ends correctly though. Yeah, so if I just paste this right here, that's actually very, very wasteful of space. Then again, everything is with burner inserters, so maybe that's not a problem. Because like, I feel like you could probably get more drills here, or you could probably get more furnaces here. But I don't really see how. Okay, do these all look connected? I mean, they need power, of course, but... This doesn't seem bad, and this does give you the option for radars, which is good. So now we need the electric poles, right? Because we don't have those. Realistically, can they fit here? No. Well, they can, but then I can't quick drag. And I want to be able to, like, quick drag these. Oh, all full-length drags? That's really nice. That's really good. But it doesn't power everything, so it's actually not... It's not that great if it doesn't power everything. But it's better than nothing. Okay, so what all is missing power? We can just accept that these ones are going to be powered later. Because basically the only requirement is that I can do one long row of medium electric poles and then hand place like a roboport quickly. Oof. Roboports can go here, I guess. But that's not powered, so ideally I would want it to go where this chest goes, something like that. And then, I think that would tile. Yeah, because this would be after every right-facing circuit, so I would copy this, and it would also go... Yeah, there would be another right there. Okay, that's perfect. And that has power, so now we need the middle ones. I think everything is connected. Oh, okay, it's not connected all the way through quite yet. I don't see a great grid. I could move these up. No, I don't think there's going to be a clean way to connect the power grids. I just have to accept that I'm going to have like one random power pole, like here, which it's not a problem. I don't think. Yeah, that should be okay. Is this our outpost? How much even is that? That's 400 inserters. I don't know the ratio actually. 400 inserters to 81 drills actually seems pretty good. Or to 80 furnaces seems pretty good. Because if you just have 80 furnaces, that's already going to be 240 inserters. So yeah, I think that seems okay. Where's a patch we can test this with? Also, this is functional, right? I hope. Let's see, it has power, it has roboports. It doesn't have a radar. But I think a radar you would only need one per set. Oh, let's Let's save this as a blueprint. Hold up. Outpost Direct. There we go. Outpost Direct. A sequel to Nintendo Direct. We're going to go over all the releases, the new releases this year. They're all bad. Spoilers. They use burner inserters. They can't be good. Okay, production. Ooh, we lost some production. Hold up. I think that's because this died. That's reasonable. Or maybe the main base is backed up. Okay, yeah, we are producing like 100,000 less than we used to be per hour, which is not great. But I guess it doesn't make a huge difference, so it's not too much of a problem. Okay, so we need we want a small iron patch. This actually looks like a really good. That looks like a really good testing phase, because it has coal, it has solid fuel, and it has drills. So what we should probably do first, we should definitely get roboports, because we want to make sure it starts pretty fast. Because let's see, we want to use this oil. We also want to deconstruct these trees, because yeah, we're gonna make the outpost like right here. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely lose UPS from this. Like anything we do now that isn't sitting here zoomed in like this far is going to increase how long it takes to launch. But I would rather take an extra 20 minutes to finish this challenge than just sit here for 2 hours staring at grass. This seems a little bit preferable. Okay. I need roboports, and I need... Ooh, efficiency module. Oh, crap. I didn't put efficiency modules in the outpost. That's annoying. Would efficiency modules or prod mods be better? Probably efficiency modules. Yeah, I think efficiency modules are good. Because the thing is, power is kind of hard to come by, because we don't have access to nuclear. Oh, wait, hold up. Is this why? Oh, this would explain... Okay, that would explain a lot. Okay, so this needs to run better. No, this isn't one of the lanes we cut. We didn't cut any of the copper lanes. Unless it's relying on copper from over here. I'm not sure why this ran out of copper. Oh, I see. I don't have nearly enough over here. I see the problem. Okay, this might contribute to the 100,000 drop we got to green chip production. If I had to guess. Okay, so roboports. We made a roboport assembler in like a random spot, but I don't remember where that was. Ah, here it is. Wow, that is slow. Oof. I'm kind of glad we had to stop expanding, because we wouldn't have been able to solve the roboport shortage that easily. So I think we would have been forced to stop anyway. Okay, so we got the roboports. We need power poles now, which I'm producing where I used to produce LDS, because that's where sticks are. Sticks and steel, it was a good spot for it. Okay, so we got big electric poles, medium electric poles. What else do we need? We don't really need drills. I think that's enough to kickstart the outpost. It's really just power poles and roboports, so that way you don't have to wait on bots to place all that stuff. Okay, so where are we going? Up there, I think? It's a lot farther than it looked like in the map. But at least it's close to another outpost. But yeah, it's definitely more of a trek than I was anticipating. Okay, so we can get power from, honestly, really anywhere. Doesn't make a huge difference. Because we have plenty of resources. And connecting the power grid is always a good choice. Okay, does that connect? I think it did. Yeah, the only thing we really need power for, assembling machines and roboports, but mostly roboports. Because I don't think it's possible via mod to make roboports take power. Or at least I was told that once. Because like I've seen mods where the robots take coal, but not the roboports. But I could just be making that up. But I thought somebody told me that was like a technical limit. Somehow. Not really sure on the details. But it seemed possible, considering the lack of mods I've seen with coal-powered roboports. Yeah, that should be decent. We do need solid fuel. We would have had to stop expanding due to robot shortage. Followed by we have lots of resources. Something about those sentences seem contradictory. Fair. I don't really have a counterpoint to that. That's accurate. We we don't have the right resources. How's that? Placing these electric poles doesn't use up too many of our roboports. Cars on belts doesn't work that great because to take from a car, you have to stop the belt. So you would have to have like a circuit clock that's constantly stopping and moving the belt. We did try it. It just turned out that you need to stop the belt for it to do anything. Yeah, that was definitely something we tried, and we decided to do something instead, like this, the train mall. But yeah, the main thing was the car thing just required a feature that I didn't want to have to use. I don't know. I didn't feel like doing circuits for it. I think with blueprints it would probably be pretty good though. Or with like imported blueprints, you could probably make that work pretty decently for like the mall. Because like even if you have to stop the car every tile, you still have a massive belt throughput you can do there. Well, I guess you're limited to the inserter throughput, which is small, but that's just because burner inserters are bad. Okay, so I think this looks good. This is a weird spot to place this. Yeah, they're really slow. They move like 0.6 items per second without upgrades, which is nothing. The train mall is fun. It didn't work well because, well, the same thing. The inserter throughput is more of a problem than like belt throughput. So the train mall, you just ran into issues because you couldn't use the trains to output anything extra into an assembling machine. And if you can't use the train mall to get like 6 inserters per assembling machine, it didn't end up having a benefit. Because in my mind, you were able to double up trains. Yeah, 1.8 fully upgraded. But a train, if you were to do a car mall, its biggest advantage would be early on before you have those upgrades. And I think anything post bots, having a car mall is just something you would do for fun, not for utility. Because the biggest advantage would be to reduce the amount of belts you have to hand place and inserters you have to place by hand early on. So to me, I see car mall as like a late game mall build. Or an early game mall build. Back when it's difficult to place splitters to function as long inserters. Because that's effectively what I had to do. If you want to pretend you have long inserters, you have to use splitters and like undergrounds or splitters and filters. And you can have the have them switch places. I actually have an example of both. Hold up. It's pretty easy to get to too. but power this first. Power, power, power. That one's not powered somehow. Ah, that would do it. Okay, so without long inserters, we basically had to turn to stuff like, I think, so this was one option. This works decently. If you don't plan on making double-sided and it needs 4 inputs, this is a really good way to do fake long inserters. It has pretty good reliability too. The inserters don't tend to die. Yeah, this worked really good. If you need it to be double-sided, or you want it to be double-sided, and you only have 3 inputs, you can do something like this, which is effectively the same thing. Slightly less reliable because grabbing from splitters is really bad. But it's not terrible, but this allows you to do double-sided approaches like this, which was good for engines and stuff. But yeah, not having to do stuff like that is all I would use cars for. Anything late game, I would probably just copy a build like this, or stuff like this worked really well. Direct fed gears rather than gears on a belt, so then you all have all of the iron coming from one side. Because once I got to the end game and had bots and didn't have to worry about reliability, it was really easy to just throw inserters at a problem and have them be self-fed. Because it's super easy to scale up that way. Let's see, we have okay, we have solid fuel now. Okay, outpost direct. Let's make it go down, I guess. I really hope it works. First things first, we need to start getting fuel to it before we connect it up, which isn't much of a problem, but that's why we connected this so early. Okay, so these two are iron, right? Well, technically it doesn't matter which one is iron, but yeah, I have no idea how I'm going to do the solid fuel distribution. Okay, so we have, I think, we could do this. This would let us fill a lot at once, but then you would have to be careful about which side it goes on. So maybe I should just have the resources and coal come from the opposite side. That way, conceptually, it makes a lot more sense. Because for now, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, this should work. Something like this. And then we would have like an underground here, and then this could be split off at the bottom. Definitely delete that. That would be an hour before launch, or an hour before getting all the achievements, accidentally place a build of electric inserters. Okay, and then an underground. So this is iron, I think. And I don't know if a splitter... Yeah, I think a splitter here would be a good idea. And then you would do the same thing for copper, except for copper, you would use a different belt, so it would probably be like down here instead. And it would go through here. Now let's move it down. Let's move it down another tile, so that way I don't have to worry about crossing with iron. And it doesn't actually... If I did it correctly, I don't think it matters which side anything goes on, because we're not side loading. So yeah, this is what the top would look like. Then we copy it over a few times. How are these... How? Wait, what? How is that down one tile? I mean, it doesn't matter, but I don't understand how I staggered it a tile. Huh, whatever. I'll leave it. This is just a test outpost, so it doesn't make a huge difference either way, but I'm very confused. Because they share a middle belt. Yeah, but I could have shifted it up one tile, I think, right? Because, like, none of these are grabbing from a spot that isn't filled. Oh wait, it's because I flipped them. It's because I flipped and mirrored them that direction, I think. So it's mirrored over this axis. Maybe. But I think it's because it's mirrored over this axis, so they're all like staggered by one tile. At least that's my guess. That or I just pasted it wrong. Either could be right. I feel like both of them are something that could happen. Okay, so then we can just connect pure copper here and pure iron here. And then we're just going to go around. Obviously, I think if this was one big blueprint, this would be a little bit more compact, but currently we are just testing the proof of concept right now. And that's wrong. So it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to exist. We'll also probably have to hand feed some of the... I think we'll have to hand feed some of the drills. Let's do the safe outpost at the moment. So one of the safe outposts is... Actually, no, we're doing our classic helicopter one. It's too great to pass up. Okay, we only need one belt, so we can make do with this. Okay, that works. We do need regular belt, though. And then I think we can just actually like sideload them. Because I think there's enough overproduction that we can just combine them into one red. Because we only need one yellow belt at the moment. Doesn't have to be perfect. This got flipped the wrong way, but this is supposed to be solid fuel. We actually there might be a better way to do this. No, well, it would use a lot more belt. But there is another way to do the drills. And that's having coal and copper on the same belt. We did that for our first lane. Right here. No, not right here. Right here. So then you would have the fuel and the output ore on the same belt, and you could stagger it every 2 tiles. It's really easy to build by hand, which is why we only did this for the first lane. Because after that, we were able to take some time to either use bots or not build it by hand. Or to either use bots or we cared more about belt density at that point. So we switched to a slightly more efficient design after that. But this one gives fuel and ore in the same belt, which, if you look at this design, is exactly what you need. So it would avoid these splitters. So that might actually be better. Because you would reduce the splitter requirement by like, honestly, 15 per outpost set. Like that's not I don't think that's awful, but maybe unnecessary because I have no idea what the effect of splitters is. On UPS. But yeah, something like that would be great because then you would just connect all of your lanes directly to these rows and you wouldn't have to worry about sideloading fuel or like making the fuel loop around, which would be nice. Definitely has some advantage. Just a little bit harmful. It's more harmful to my computer, to be honest, because we got UPS bottlenecked. I can't expand my base anymore. I had to stop at producing 2.5 million green chips per hour. So now we're just making a different outpost design because I wanted to try a different one. But we can't get any meaningful increase in production. We just keep checking to make sure we're not losing production though. Yeah, we're only consuming 2 million fuel per hour. Like that's nothing. It's only like 100 belts of fuel going directly into a burner drill. Oh, come on. Really? The reason this wasn't saturating? That's so dumb. I don't even have personal bots. Hold on. Work for me. Work for me. No, that didn't work. Okay, I guess we'll just build stuff by hand. No, it's fair. I understand. It had to be made. And it is accurate. If we were spreading pollution, I imagine biters would be like absolutely maxed right now. Okay. I hope this works, because I didn't double check my work. Yeah. We don't know if it actually works. Oh, hold up. Hold up. Can they actually safely grab? If I have enough fuel, that's working. We're using 1.5 million coal to 500,000 solid fuel. Solid fuel, we ended up not using that much, mostly because power ended up being harder to come by. The last copper furnace is taken from the wrong belt. Oh, so it just doesn't. Is it? I don't see it. Unless you mean like the last, like down here. But I have it alternating every 2 inserters. So the idea of this outpost, it would be staged. So it would be a lot safer than it looks right now. Because the idea of this is that the first stage would be all of the belts and all the power poles and roboports. And you wouldn't place any of the inserters until the entire thing is backed up with fuel. If you want, you could set the top splitters to prio right. That's not going to make the inserters significantly safer. Oh, if you want, you could set the top splitters. Yeah, that's not going to make a huge difference. It's still going to have to be staged, I think. Because it would still have to be staged if you did that. Because the idea is that this would be a lot longer to use an entire belt of coal. So there's no situation where you could have more than 6 inserters in a row and have the lanes not back up. So yeah, so you think it should be safer by putting all fuel down one lane, then once backed up, it would go to the next. That only works with the small size. This is only like... This is only like 1/8 of the size it will be. I think something like that. It would be a lot longer. So anything longer than 8 inserters is never going to be safe, no matter how saturated the belt is. Like if one pass of a fully running belt, basically, let's say you can have one saturated belt, right? It's moving 7.5 items per second, and it's saturated. If you have a row of inserters, they'll clear the belt completely, and then it's not saturated for anything after that. And that's like a guarantee. That's exactly how it will fill up. So it works for the short lanes, but when you get to the longer ones, the end ones aren't going to be saturated. So it just it won't... I don't think there's any... I couldn't figure out a way to make things safe enough to avoid it completely. There is this option. If I wanted it to be not one blueprint, or if I was fine with it, if I didn't want it to be staged, I did have the option of having coal go this way, or fuel go to the right. So then you won't have anything grabbing from an underground. But I figured if this was intended to be a staged blueprint, I might as well plan for it to be like fully staged. But who knows? I don't think there's any Honestly, you should never just grab from an underground. Is really the moral of the story, I guess. But it made it so much more compact that it seemed maybe worth it. I'm not confident in that yet, but we don't have copper. Copper's not connected then, because it started way earlier. If it's not working, then that means it will never work. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how. Oh, smart belt or whatever got in the wrong direction. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that should work eventually. I mean, it at least is getting fuel now. You can also speed it up by having a lot more coal. So that's another thing. I would have like... On a scaled version, I think I would have like 8 rows of coal here. Heavily overproduced. But I would take 2 of those and send them to the next outpost to help the next outpost start faster. And like the locally produced solid fuel would be enough to make this run at a steady state. And then I'll have like overproduced coal that I just carry around through my whole base. Because I think that would be more reasonable than having 8 times the solid fuel production at every base. But I'm not sure. I mean, with undergrounds, with red undergrounds, that would be pretty entity efficient, so it wouldn't be awful. Good evening, Cease. Yeah, 60k burners is not great. 55,000 inserters, on the other hand, at least mostly runs at 60 UPS for me, so that's something. I really hope this works. The reliability factor is actually higher than I expected, but that's not saying much. There is a possibility of looping them. Like, this might be safer. There is a chance that... Oh, let's just do this just in case. There is a chance that this is safer. That would help a lot. We can't do it for these, but we could make the iron lanes safer. And then... I think that's actually just better in general. So having the iron snake through would definitely be better. It's 2.5 million green chips per hour, roughly. Some of the main base stopped, so it used to be 2.6, but it's down to 2.5. Imagine not fueling all your burner inserters with rocket fuel. Rocket fuel would be amazing for burners, but the issue is like we need to overproduce everything by like 400% if we want things to start in a reasonable time, and that is so much rocket fuel to have to produce, because you have to back up entire lanes with fuel before anything starts working. So even this small outpost right here needs to back up 3,000 coal before the entire thing starts. Plus the internal buffers. But ignoring internal buffers, this won't all start working until I produce 2,000 fuel. That just sits on a belt. Or sorry. Yeah, no, 2,000's right, because it's only using half the belt. I don't think I'm finishing tonight. I just wanted to see this outpost work, then I think I was going to call it. Because that's like another hour, and I'm not able to stream for another hour tonight. But we're effectively done. So I might just do like a very brief finishing it up before a separate stream, and then do something else dumb instead. Back tomorrow. I mean, I guess if I did it tomorrow, it would be just this, and we'd play for like an hour, and then do like a summary of like what went wrong. But there wouldn't be anything after that, so I'm not sure. Also, I think I'm going to breakfast. I don't actually think I can stream tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be like this awkward week off, since I'll be off until this weekend. And then I'll do like 1 hour of trying to make one more dumb outpost and maybe seeing if there is a better way to design this. Yeah, I mean, Prio definitely helps a little bit. Unfortunately, not a perfect solution. I don't know. The heavy overproduction would be nice. If we could get the copper to snake, that would be good. What went wrong? I decided on a barmy challenge. What is barmy challenge? Is that a word? Not mad crazy. Fair. That is a true. That is an accurate description of this challenge. Okay, so this is not great. This is not working well. This is not a good design. Surprising no one. Part of it, I think, is because it has to back up copper first, though. Maybe I shouldn't have had the prio on these when I was testing to see if it worked, huh? But yeah, currently the only flaw... I don't think that's a good way to describe it. It has a lot of flaws. The biggest flaw is this underground right here. If I could remove that, it would be a much safer design, but I do not see a way to remove it. Unless I had the lane switch and like this lane fed this lane somehow. But I don't see a way to increase this reliability without a splitter. Obviously a splitter from here going there would be very safe, but that's not great. Maybe I don't need that many inserters. Because if that's the case... no, that is not the case. Unfortunate. Unless there's a chance I could get 2... No, there's no way I can get 2 out of this. Never mind. Yeah, this one needs 2 inserters. But this is decent. What's the uptime on this? This is not... This is barely copper limited? Really? If this is copper limited, could I use a prod mod and a speed mod? Let's see, this has spare input. This is short on copper. So if this got like a prod mod and maybe this got a speed mod, could that work? Well, then I might have an iron issue. How much does this consume? This is 0.67. 5 times 1.5. Right? No. Circuit logic? I don't think circuit logic would be great for UPS, right? Like to have that on like hundreds of belts separately. Because the whole point of this design is to reduce the amount of inserters by like 10 to 20%. And I think if we replace that with too many splitters or circuits, it probably might kind of cause the exact same problem. What was with the sudden drop to 40 UPS? Well, I have 10,000 construction bots that are very far from base, so if they run full time, they take like a full millisecond to process. So that like used 15% of my processor solely for bots. Well, you don't need, I don't think you need combinators for something like that. Stopping belts or inserters until they get fuel is pretty straightforward. Because you can do this. And then read belt contents. And then disable this if fuel is less than... Or enable if fuel is less than 4. Oops. But yeah, like that could work. I don't know if that would be good for UPS or not though, because I don't understand Factorio. You were expecting performance to linear degradation rather than bursts. That would be fair, except I did double my production in a single blueprint. So that's why it wasn't that linear. We went from one and a half, we went from like 1.2 million green chips per hour, and then I pasted enough stuff to produce 2.5 million green chips per hour. So as soon as those started working, we got a very strong hit to performance, and we couldn't counteract it because counteracting it required us to cut what we had just pasted, and we had too many bots like already sent out, so it took like half an hour or like an hour. I think it took about an hour to deconstruct all of the inserters we didn't need. There was a UPS spike a few minutes ago. I didn't see a drop in UPS. Was I in the map view? I don't remember doing anything. I don't remember a UPS drop. That doesn't mean it didn't happen though. I don't think we're getting the achievement today. Uh, we'll clean up this outpost next time, but I don't have another hour left. It dropped to 40 for like 5 seconds. Interesting. My computer might have just had a stutter. I need to reinstall Windows, I think. Or do something. My computer has random micro stutters sometimes. Yeah, because of the UPS issues. But I think I just need to like do a fresh install, and rather than try to figure out what's causing performance issues. Because it's like once an hour or every couple hours I get a micro stutter in like random games. But it's like usually pretty minor. But yeah, because of the UPS issues we realized yesterday, it wasn't possible to finish by today. Because by the time we had the UPS issues, it was too late to like make a more refined base. Sub 20 wouldn't be possible on my computer like at all. I don't think. Because like performance drop during off tab. I don't remember alt tabbing. Oh, I mean that does do that. Maybe I accidentally loaded Chrome. I don't remember doing that, but that's possible. But yeah, so sub 20 runs into the problem of you can't getting a launch in under like 6 to 7 hours is a problem. Like I don't think you could get the launch faster than like 6 or 7 hours with burner inserters and Lazy Bastard. So like that alone makes it hard, and that leaves you 14 hours to make outposts that take like 4 hours to start and build. And you're capped at 2.5 million per hour. So like the limit there would be 14 hours. And that's assuming like no startup time. Unfortunately. And a lot of the UPS savings that we have right now is a result of the fact that we have 20,000 extra space science to work with. So yeah, you run in. I think maybe that you could do sub 20 if this kind of outpost works really well. Because you could reduce a lot of entities in something like this. But yeah, burner inserters, just the startup time of everything is like measured in hours. Like from build time to having enough fuel, you can measure it in like 1 to 2 hours. Which makes the initial outposting very, very hard. Yeah, let's see, is this let's see, this is still limited. This could get a prod and a speed. This could definitely get a prod. And of course, with blueprints, I think sub 24 would be doable with blueprints for sure. It's just that last 4 hours to make it sub 20 is like the amount of time it takes to start a base or to start an outpost. And it's really hard to decrease the startup time of burner inserters without overproducing everything by like factors of like 4. And then that has its own startup time. It's tricky. It's like, sure, I can get 4 times the coal, but then I need to place 4 times the drills. And those in themselves take 30 minutes to start. It's crazy. Burner inserters suck. I like this outpost though. Iron is definitely overproduced. Could this be reduced to 1? No, it would need to be reduced to like 1.5, wouldn't it? I can't imagine I would gain much by dropping this to like a stone furnace. And it would use more coal. Actually, it's running pretty much full speed. It's ridiculous and just a tad. It would be cool to get it under 24 hours. And I think this outpost is actually really good. It was dumb when I was thinking of it. But let's see, let's do a quick estimate. For 80, this uses 5 inserters per 80 furnaces, and the furnaces are running full speed, in theory. There's not enough copper, but like, based on this test, we can assume that these are all resource limited except for this, but we can't really use more than that. So yeah, let's say that's a 1-to-5 ratio. Under 24 hours, single stream, and a proper speedrun timer. That's true. I could get to a UPS limit and then just AFK for like 4 to 8 hours. Just find a mod in a different time zone to watch it while I sleep, because there's nothing else I can do. But yeah, this is a 5-to-1 ratio. And if we go to, and this is for 2 chests. So let's use, this was a pretty decent outpost. So its comparison would be this, which is 560 inserters plus 490. There's going to be stutters probably. So that's 1,000 inserters. The reason that I had to take them in blueprints is because I don't want to compare different number of chests, because that wouldn't be a fair comparison, because that's an extra like 20% inserters. But yeah, so that's 1,000 inserters to, well, this is too many. So I need to subtract 24 from that. 120 furnaces to 1,000. That is half the is that half the inserters? Is that actually half the inserters? Well, no, because some of these have too many. I have too many of these. So realistically, I should be comparing it to a third of this. Still, though, that's a pretty significant decrease in inserters. So for roughly 80 furnaces here, I use 400 inserters. So 5 inserters per 1 furnace. That's a good ratio. Because the original outpost with a separate smelting lane, well, I guess I doubled up on this, but that's because I didn't have it staged. But this uses 1,000 inserters for 120 furnaces, so 1 to 8. 30% decrease in inserters for the smelting lane. Obviously, these are going to be the same. So that's a total decrease of like 10%. That means realistically, we can maybe get like up to 3 million green chips for outposts total, or 3 million before we bought before we peg our CPU. Maybe 3.5, because we could also fix the drills a little bit, make that run better. It wouldn't go to half. The only reason it goes to half is because burner inserters are terrible. If you directly use inserters and you're not using electric furnaces, the reduction is significantly smaller. It's just inserters, assembling machines are weird. Or just burner inserters are very limited by way too many things. But when you have access to electric inserters, the decrease in inserter count is not quite as substantial. Because you don't have the savings of doubling up on inserters either. Because that's one of the issue with burner inserters. Like, a lot of the savings comes from the fact that you're not input limited, right? It's like if you were to do electricity, you would have 2, 2, and 1, which would be a decrease in 20%. But with burner inserters, you still have to have 2 here inputting, even though you're outputting 2 from here. So the increase ends up being like 30% instead of 15 or 20. Both are still huge though. I mean, for something you're producing like, for something you're pasting like 1,000 times or something, that's still very big. But yeah, I think the effect feels a lot larger with this. I think if you can use beacons and electric furnaces, you can probably have a very significant savings with electricity. But yeah, I don't think we can use beacons here. The inserters are already kind of at their limits. But yeah, I think we got a new outpost. I think next time we'll get back to this. We'll see if there's any glaring flaws. Figure out how to make a stage of it, because I really want to see this in action at the size of one of these. So I think once we get the achievement, we'll go into editor mode and see what it would look like if we used entirely this outpost, and see what kind of monstrosity it can make. But for now, thank you all for watching. See, is anyone live? Is Cyclo live?
What?
Is anyone live? Twitch doesn't tell me anything. I don't see anyone.
Beef taco, beef taco.
No Cyclo today. It's alright. Okay, then I'll probably just end it here because I don't see anyone. Well, actually, I can't see one. Twitch doesn't work for me. I'd need to figure out why I can't look up people on Twitch for some reason. I think my ad blocker messes with the channel search function. Because, like, I can see my followers list, and even then I can barely see my followers list. But if I try to search the category, I don't get anything. But I'll be back this weekend, I think. Because I don't think I'm going out to eat tomorrow during my streaming time, so I don't think I'll be able to finish this tomorrow. But that will give me time to brainstorm even worse ideas than this, which actually didn't end up being a terrible idea, which is crazy to me. I was expecting it to be really, really bad, but it actually is decent. But yeah, we'll clean this up next time while we wait for an hour to get the final achievement. And that will be it. All achievements using only burner inserters and 2.5 million coal per hour, which I think is really a lot. And I think it's amazing how much coal per hour we are consuming. One coal per every green chip, effectively, is what that amounts to. But have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.